pretty happy that the rain delayed enough where you guys can get the full game in there, and especially that 8th inning.
Well, couldn't hope for a better turn of events from the 5th inning on. Obviously, it was another challenging game. West Virginia's a good team, a good pitcher going today. They got on us early. They were hard to put away. They had a lot of base hits, and it was a fight. It was a battle, and things turned for us when Huey got a base hit and Andrew choked up and got a 2-strike single, and we were finally on the board and really kind of at least off the mat, ready to start throwing some blows. They made a mistake or two that opened the door for us a little bit. That happens in baseball, and we took advantage of that to get back close. And then late in the game, after some really good relief pitching, we were in striking distance. And kind of felt like we were ready to deliver a blow, and obviously Nola had a big hit. That was great to see for him. And Colin did what great players do, and he walked to home plate with the bases loaded, showed a lot of courage, looked for a pitch, he got it, and he did exactly what he wanted to with it. And so that was a very important win for our team. It showed some character, and it wasn't easy. But conference games and things worth having never are. So I'm proud of the kids. There was some toughness on display from the 5th inning on. That was great to see.
You know, West Virginia was the team that started calling Colin Homer Simpson. Do you think there's kind of a, competition there? They're probably glad to see him graduate after this year.
Well, yeah, Coach Mazey's watched Colin now for 4 years, and obviously their 2 assistant coaches, both having been familiar with Oklahoma State, know Colin well. Colin's a marked man. I mean, people have tried all year long to take him out of our offense by pitching around him or trying to throw pitches out of the strike zone so he couldn't hurt him. But with the bases loaded right there and a tight game, it kind of forced them to put a ball over the plate, at least, try to get into the count and try to get a first pitch strike on a slider. Colin crushed it. I don't think he could have hit it any harder. I know he's hit something further, but I don't think he could hit it any harder. That ball was absolutely screaming its way over the signs. So it's clutch swing, it's clutch play, and sometimes you need big plays by your best players. And that was a perfect example of Colin coming through big for our team.
What was the team morale like, Coach? On the 4th and 5th inning, when it's 5-0 and things aren't going well?
I was screaming and yelling at him. You want to know the truth? Just trying to, sometimes when you get behind and you don't have a lot to cheer about because you're not scoring, scoring gets you going. That's what gets the dugout going. It's what feeds energy. It's what shares energy. And so you're trying to create your own scoring when you're not scoring. You're trying to do that by pushing buttons and challenging guys, and trying to move them into action or strike a chord or get them to feel some sense of the other team is coming into your own area and taking control of you, and that's not acceptable. So those are the emotions you're trying to stimulate in your players down on the field level. Obviously, when you're watching it, you're watching the game, but when you're coaching and playing in it, you're emotionally sharing energy and competing, and we didn't have much to draw from. So you try to pull that out of each other through motivation or whatever, and I'm a pretty verbal person. So yeah, we were firing off and trying to strike a chord. I mean, certainly not going to just sit back and watch, that's for sure. And to the kids' credit, they got into action, and that's what this game is. It's a game of execution and action. And sometimes your desire to compete or your will to fight, it is drawn out of emotion at times.
How good has Ben been for you guys this year? I think he's given up 1 run.
Ben's done a really, really good job. He really has. He's taking the ball late in the game now, and he's managing himself well, and he's got a couple of pitches working that the other team, has to deal with in a fastball and a plus slider, and he's done a really nice job. That's why he's pitching at the end of the game, showing the poise necessary to handle that late game scoreboard pressure.
What's it like to see guys like Parker and Logan come in there late and throw well for you?
Fantastic. Parker's really coming along. I'm really excited for him. I think he's really starting to hit his stride. That's great. And Logan's been very good since his move to the bullpen. I think he's slowed the game down as a relief pitcher, whereas early in the year at times as a starter, I think he felt maybe just a little bit rushed. I think now he looks very calm, and I think that's good. So he's been pretty darn steady.
You mentioned Houston earlier. He made a lot of plays today that didn't look like a freshman. How have you seen him progress?
Houston's a good player. He's already a good player at any age. In fact, he's only a freshman. It's exciting. He's going to get to build around that, right? That's exciting, but he's already a good player. And he's doing a number of things well, whether it's hitting the ball, shows great range. He's made a lot of nice plays. He's fast. He can steal a base. And yeah, he's a good player. You're right. He's played very well.
How do you carry the momentum from this game to tomorrow noon?
I mean, you guys are human. You know what it's like when something goes your way. Adds to the pep in your step, right? It's just that's the way these kids are. It's just a team, and something good goes your way, you feel good about it, right? And the vibe. But you also have to be steady enough that if something doesn't go your way, you don't let that stymie your energy coming back. And that's probably, a good statement for the kids today, that even though we got, beaten up pretty good last night, we still came and had something. And, it's neat. Pete talked to our kids this morning, and he talked to them about what made him him. And I think his message was loud and clear. He played for two reasons. He played for his teammates and his coaches, and he played for his program. And it was those motivations that drove him to be an individually great player, because he played on behalf of the guys around him, and he played on behalf of his program. And he didn't draw his inspiration for himself. He drew it because others were counting on him. And that was an interesting way for the greatest individual player ever to explain to these kids what drove him. And that was to play for his team, and to be there for his teammates and coaches to do his part to make sure the team was successful. And I think sometimes when you can move yourself into action on behalf of others because you don't want to let somebody down, and you can play inspired by your program. They're seeing these guys out here today get their rings, or there's got to be something about your program that makes you honor the responsibility. And you can talk about that all you want, but when real life people walk on the field and talk and this actually happened, that's a whole lot different than talking about something versus actually having tradition that's been built by other people. And we have that here. And so I'm just grateful he came back so that they could hear it from his mouth. Because I can tell the stories, Coach Walt can tell the stories. He was on those teams. You can show the 10-minute video clip that exists, but when kids hear someone like that talk, and the whole message is about playing for each other and playing for your school and playing to be great because you want to do your part to help the group be successful. That's not a message these kids get much anymore growing up. Pretty awesome message.
Did you get to talk to many of the guys from the 1959 team today?
I had a chance to say hello to most of the gentlemen, their wives, and obviously family members of those that could make it. It was really cool. Kevin did a great job. Kevin Fite has put that together, and man, what a classy way to honor a national championship team. And thankful to the university for allowing us to buy those national championship rings that those guys so much deserve and haven't had since 1959. So I hope that those guys feel pretty complete when it comes to knowing that we really, really recognize what they've done.